Hey, last episode we started something called wisdom that we need to gain in our everyday living, right? And I talked about 4 pointers there. And I have three more. It's totally seven, three more pointers, okay? Let me just share about that, We need to be genuinely interested in others around us and take time to listen, understand, know, and learn from them. Now, we need to be genuinely interested in others. Sometimes we get interested because we want something. Sometimes I've seen teenagers, young people get interested because they want to get a job done, or maybe they want some favor and that's why they get interested. No, I think we need to become genuinely interested in others. Develop that character of becoming genuinely interested in others. Genuinely. Even to a point that they might hurt you, the other person may not be genuine, but you need to be genuinely interested in others. But again, you need to be discerning. I talked about complex friendships. You remember that? The discerning heart, the discerning mind, and the discerning hands. You want to be very careful about that. Yeah. But you need to be genuine. You need to build a character saying, I need to be genuinely interested in others. It's a very important paradigm. 2, we need to process every incident along the way and process them honestly and engagingly. What do I mean by saying honestly and engagingly? I need to process my journey. I've been talking about that. You remember one of the episodes I said you need to learn to think, you need to become a thinker. Now when I say thinker, processing it honestly. You need to be very honest, down to earth. Honesty is very important. Just be very honest and real. You don't have to tell others, but you be honest with yourself. And engagingly, meaning you engage in that journey, you engage in that process, you engage. For example, you made a mistake. And when you made a mistake, your friend got very upset and, has left you and walked away and think, don't sit there and sulk, or don't sit there and, shoot out and say, hey, you're horrible and things. No. You need to here be very honest. And you need to engage in that situation. You need to think about that situation. What really happened? What could have happened? How could I have done things differently? How could I process things differently? How could I have begun to, reach out to them in a different way? You need to come to that place to be intentional. That's why one of the times I said to be very intentional. Here I'm focusing on the process of thinking. In that two very important points, I said you need to be honest and you need to be engaging. Sometimes you're very honest, but you don't engage, meaning you cut off from that incident and things like that. I'm very honest. I should have not done it and things like that. Sometimes you're very engaging to that situation and said, this is what happened. That's what happened, but you're not very honest. I think you need to be honest and engaging. You need to be there. That's a second principle that I want to talk about today. First one, you generally be interested in others. The second one, the way you need to process everything in your life honestly and engagingly. And the third very important thing, we need to be very intentional with our time. We need to be very intentional with our time. I love Albert Einstein's quote here. He says this: wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. See what he says? It's not a product of schooling. Wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire wisdom. That's what Albert Einstein said. Did you see that? It's a lifelong attempt. So for us, we have to be very careful with our time. Very careful. I've said this several times to teenagers and young people. Today, the reels on Instagram, the reels on, Facebook takes a lot of your time. Sometimes you sit there and start watching. I know sometimes you lie down, not even gone to sleep, but you're sitting there and watching. And some of those reels are not very great. Not at all very great. The kind of concepts that they're bringing and the AI, the algorithm that's been put there, when you start watching a certain kind of videos and certain kind of things, I think there is a lot more of the same type coming in again and again and again. Now, what's the basis? What's the foundational principle here? What's the core principle? Time. Are you careful with your time? If you're going to watch a movie, be careful about what movie it is, and you say, okay, I'm going to give my time to watch the movie. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to give my time to read a book. I'm going to go and play. I'm going to give my time to go and play. But don't allow time to slip out. Your time is very precious, very, very precious. You can never be able to redeem the time. Many people say that and say, there are things that I have missed out now. God has helped me to redeem it. You might be able to do some of the similar things, but the time that you have lost is lost. Very difficult to redeem it. Be careful about your time. Time is going to be very, very crucial. Very, very crucial. Lovely talking to you. And young people, these 7 pointers, the last episode I talked about the 4 pointers, and this episode I talked about 3 pointers. The 7 pointers are very crucial for gaining wisdom in our everyday walk. Thank you so much for being here. You're just amazing. And have some friends around you in your classroom, or in your tuition center, or among your family, with your cousins. Take some of these topics, take some of these pointers and discuss it. George uncle, we don't talk about things like that. We talk about movies, we talk about games, we talk about other things. I do understand that. But do you want to be a person who will become much deeper? Do you want to be a person who is anchored, very stable, and become very deeper? I think you need to start your conversations this way. Conversations that will soak you in, conversations that will take you much deeper. Yeah, as you grow much deeper is when you can grow higher. If you don't grow deeper, you will never be able to grow higher, because you're going to flip out if you're not very deep. You want to be in a place where you want to look out. Take care of it. Be very careful, especially the last pointer. Time, very crucial. You can't redeem it just like that. No. Now is the intentionality of how you're going to use the time. Lovely talking to you. God bless you. You take care.